Yerman Burger Flippers are in a position to take this whole thing right now. If they can win 2 games against Random Gaming, they are our champions. Random Gaming has to crawl their way through 2 series against Yerman Burger Flippers, and here we are at the start of the match.
And we see something here really interesting. It's very apparent that both of these teams are familiar with what the opposing team is doing, because we actually haven't seen Random Gaming do this 2-1-2 split with 2 people top, 2 people bottom, and 1 in the center at all. But they know that Yerman is going to be leaning into this with this scoring focused composition, so they're reacting accordingly.
One thing I think is interesting is that this is actually, Jeff, how the game tells you to play it. 2 people in that top path, 1 Pokemon in that central area, and 2 Pokemon in that bottom path. And these teams are actually running this right here, but it is considered an odd strategy in our current meta.
Yeah, and this is kind of the layers you see develop in competitive games like Pokemon Unite, where players start reacting to reactions, kind of coming around in a circle as the metagame develops.
And one interesting thing we're seeing right here, we have the Dragonite from Random Gaming coming out of that central area and actually fighting here in this bottom path, which is very unusual. Most times teams have their central area Pokemon head to the top path to support. But as you said, this strategy, this is getting everything flipped on its head right now.
Yeah, Random Gaming really pushing this advantage in the bottom path here. They're able to secure a KO, which puts Blaine the Wigglytuff on the back foot, meaning they don't get to secure any of that very valuable contested B farm in the center.
Interestingly enough, we are still seeing a Sing from that Wigglytuff, one of the most powerful moves in the entire game, in my opinion. You are able to sing your opponents to sleep, but a lot of times on a composition like this, we actually do see a rollout Wiggly and a big fight happening here in the top lane. It looks like that Talonflame is going down. Can they take Lucario as well? I don't know, but they are going to get that score, and then it looks like back off.
I would just like to highlight here, while we were watching these engages, Pokemon Unite most adorable bandit for both teams went into the opposite center paths. We see Yerman's Greedent still in the center contesting this Dragonair, while Random Gaming's had done a full rotation already through.
There's so much that these teams have to react to here with these Greedents, with both teams playing what would be considered not the meta strategy of the 1 top, 1 center, 3 bottom lane Pokemon. It's just really interesting to see them have to react to all this. And I think those Greedents are going to be spending a lot of time in the enemy center area.
Yeah, Greedent hops into its berry-shaped getaway car for both teams here and slips right on out while getting away with stealing lots of wild Pokemon and valuable experience.
So Yerman Burger Flippers, they have most of their team formed up here in this bottom path, ready for this Dreadnought fight. But interestingly enough, Random Gaming has already broken their bottom goal. So they have a positional advantage here, and this fight is underway.
While Random Gaming does have a positional advantage, it's worth pointing out here that I was going to say there's a Dragonite that can secure here, but I believe that Dreadnought, oh, it did go to the left side team, but with Wigglytuff securing with that Dazzling Blade.
Wow, so a lot happened there, Jeff. I mean, just so much in such little time. A secure from Yerman Burger Flippers, but Random Gaming with almost a full team KO in that bottom path.
Yeah, while there aren't burgers inside of Pokemon Unite to flip over, the one thing you're going to see Yerman's team flipping very consistently is these objectives, and that's because their team is structured in a way to give them an advantage in those flips. These are not 50-50 coin flips. It is very weighted in your favor when you have Talonflame and Greedent and Dragonite on your team with their powerful last-hitting potential.
I completely agree with you, except I do believe somewhere hidden in the code there are burgers. I've been told not to talk about this or they would cut me off this stream, but I will say it. I am a burger truther. They are hidden in this game somewhere, Jeff.
And exactly what we were talking about there comes in. The Talonflame with its very powerful Fly Smite jumps in, tackles that Rotom objective that Random Gaming had been trying to lock down, stealing it out from underneath them.
And look at what we have here. 210, I was about to say 204, 210 to 201. So much scoring happening for both of these teams. As you mentioned before, this is a scoring team composition. They are looking to score points, break goals, and put the enemy in a position where even if they get that Zapdos, they can still win.
Yeah, for those of you at home trying to figure out, okay, the scores are close and who's ahead here, the other measure you really want to look at on these teams are the levels. You see just a single level 10, oh, now 2 on the right for Random Gaming, while Yerman has assembled 3 level 10s and 2 level 9s at this point, giving them a solid advantage in any team fight that could possibly be cropping up here.
The interesting thing that we're seeing is, I don't know if there is much of team fights, it's just battles breaking out all over the map. We had Lucario and Wiggly going at it, fighting with this Rotom in the top lane. We have a lot of members of Yerman Burger Flippers in this bottom lane trying to take this Dreadnought. Big Unite move from Talonflame and a Hyper Beam to secure it. That Dragonite Hyper Beam, just incredible at securing any objective.
Yep, Yerman showing why they are flipping these objectives. Their Dragonite seems to be second to none when it comes to these very critical secures. You get that last hit, you get all of the prizes for that objective, that valuable experience, and healing and shields in the moment.
Oh, and look at that. We actually have a score in the top lane as well from Yerman Burger Flippers, but there is that rollout Wigglytuff wearing that Sleepy Time Hollowware. I believe it is illegal, or you at least get fined for wearing that Hollowware and not using Sing, but you can see Yerman Burger Flippers absolutely dominating with it. I love a rollout Wigglytuff. It is chaotic.
We see the next objective, Rotom, coming up here in the top path. Both teams seem kind of disinterested in this objective in completely different parts, just looking to score on their own, not needing the pressure from this to get in with their quick scoring characters.
Yeah, interestingly enough, we're at the 4-minute mark of the... They're actually leaving it, Jeff. We're at the 4-minute mark of this match, and I don't think anyone really needs the pressure from that Rotom. It's not that they wouldn't like it, but they have a lot of goals they can score on, and they're planning on doing it regardless.
Yep, we see here this engage over the bottom point. We see some Unite moves popping off with those Buddy Berry Trains. Stack that up with that Score Shield item to let you get in those points through the enemy team attacking your Pokemon.
And that was a huge moment right there. I assume that Talonflame thought they had that goal pretty much sewn up. It had its Buddy Barrier, it had its Goal Getter on, but it was not able to score there. That would have been a really big play for Random Gaming. Right now, they are still behind by a little under 100 points.
We see again from Yerman just looking at these levels. We have a level 13, we see a bunch of level 12s. We don't see any level 13s for Random Gaming. The way this game is shaping up, Random Gaming is going to be very behind if there's a large engage around the Zapdos at the end.
And that's going to be great for Yerman Burger Flippers because they're already ahead on score. But this is a huge score for Yerman Burger Flippers, breaking that top goal. They can now score in the enemy's main base once Zapdos comes up.
And this is very important because unlike the outside goals, you can put as many points as you can carry into that home base. The score composition that Yerman is playing really wants to open up that inside goal before the end game. So that way, should they lose the flip on the Zapdos, they can all simply run right into the enemy's home and dunk everything that they're carrying.
Jeff, we are at 2 minutes, 14 seconds. That means Zapdos is just about here. We have Yerman Burger Flippers getting ready around the Zapdos pit. They do have their Greedent a little ways away, but both teams are getting ready for this big fight. Random Gaming knows they need this Zapdos right now.
Yep, I'm interested to see if they are going to flip against all the lasting potential. And there's the flip, and they miss. This game is all but closed out, I have to imagine, for the Yerman side. Oh, maybe I spoke too soon. 2 are down.
Yeah, we've got some KOs happening here. So Yerman Burger Flippers able to take that Zapdos, just continue their lead here. But Random Gaming getting multiple KOs, and they are running back to score themselves. It is not over. 1:30 left. While they are down by quite a bit, they could get this point lead back very quickly.
Yeah, and we see here the importance of what I highlighted a second ago for Yerman's team. Because that center point wasn't available for Random Gaming to dunk in there, they had to split their forces going to the outside points, which in Pokemon Unite, you score faster the more of your teammates are on the goal. So because they had to split their attention, they got in less points more slowly.
So right now, Random Gaming knows they're behind. There's a minute left. They just received the notification that Yerman is way ahead and Random is way behind. So the question is, what is to be done here? If they move off of their goals, they know that someone like that Greedent, like that Dragonite, can run into their base and counter score. They are in a very difficult position here, and they only have 45 seconds left to make this match right.
I love Yerman's pusher. Like, we're the score comp. What's defending? Your base is there. That is where my points go. You can dunk, but we're going to dunk too, and we'll still stay ahead this way.
Wow, 791 to 480 right now, and it looks like there isn't much of a chance for Random Gaming to come back here. They are trying their best to defend at their goal zone, but it's just not enough, and they don't have enough points to score.
Yeah, and this shows exactly that. Like, they successfully pushed off the Greedent here at the end, but they were already so far ahead. The 100 points the Greedent was capping was just going to extend that lead.
Wow, Yerman Burger Flippers scoring a few more points there. Was that the burger? Oh, I swear I saw something. I might have missed it. What a great game.
Really fantastic showing from Yerman there, doing exactly what they wanted to do. They got a lead early. They pushed that advantage into the end. They flipped the Zapdos successfully, just top to bottom. I think that's what their team goes into a match like this looking to do.
Yeah, scoring so much.
Crystal is not a Pokemon you pick to take engages with, Spraggles.
Oh, not at all. It's like they've got two Greedents on their team right now. They said, no, we're not going to do less scoring. The way to win this is more scoring.
For people at home that might not be familiar with Crystal's kit, its Unite move creates this massive shield on top of it that I think the entirety of Burger Flipper's team could wail on this Crystal, and it would still dunk 50 points in overtime right in their face.
And that is what they're hoping to do with this, I am sure. Interesting seeing the Dragonites mirroring each other in that central area. You know, with a team composition like this, the secure that you get from the Dragonites Hyper Beam is really vital because they don't have amazing team fighting, team battling potential as a unit.
Yeah, and the big thing to watch for is, you know, that key objective, the Dreadnought and the Rotom, they spawn at that 7-minute mark, and having your team get to that Dragonite before the opposing team gives you an incredible edge in that first engagement because it makes you more likely to secure the last hit on that objective.
And interestingly enough, even though we are in sort of the 2 top, 1 center, 2 bottom composition here, we do have both junglers heading up to the top lane, both central area Pokemon heading up to that top lane.
Yeah, and we see this 3-on-3 engage here. Crustle kind of getting caught out, but also an incredibly durable Pokemon that's tough to KO. Oh my gosh, it's going to survive, and all 3 of them get to dunk here, Spraggles.
Wow, I mean, and that just shows, like you said, the durability of Crustle, but also those boosted basic attacks hit like a truck, Jeff. It was recently buffed, and ever since then, it does a lot more damage than you expect.
You see the Talonflame here failing to secure that last hit at the Wiggly, but it does escape without getting knocked out against that very terrifying roll-up engagement.
Yeah, that rollout is just so incredibly fun. And of course, you have that Wiggly there in the bottom path for it. There are these small areas down there that it can bounce back and forth between and really cause chaos and almost take out an entire Pokemon with one move.
And again, just to call out, if anybody missed it on the mini-map there, while the top and bottom paths were playing out there, the Squirrely Bandit on each team went to the opponent's side of the map and did its best to secure last hits of those very valuable wild Pokemon in the central area.
Wow, I mean, I have to say, Jeff, it feels like Random Gaming is doing exactly what they want to do in this match right now. I am really impressed with what's happening with this Crustle Lucario in this top path right here. They've broken the top goal. They're scoring on their secondary goal. They're taking their central area wild Pokemon. This is going extremely well for Random Gaming.
You know, I said I would be surprised if Random Gaming could lean in and beat Yerman at their own game plan, but in my brain, I had not considered the S-tier Crustle pick for this task.
I can't wait for all the tier lists to update tomorrow and put Crustle all the way at the top after watching a game like this. Ooh, really nice engagement for Yerman Burger Flippers in this bottom path. There is no one there from Random Gaming for this Dreadnought. They are getting it completely secured with no one fighting back.
And we mentioned here this could happen. The first team to get their Dragonite is incredibly likely to win that engage at the bottom, and Yerman had their Dragonite while there was still just a Dragonair for Random Gaming down there quickly getting knocked out.
They are able to take that Rotom, and it pushes towards Yerman Burger Flipper's top goal right there. But as you can see, they're not trying to push that in. They're just taking the time that that gives them to run around the map, continue to level up, knocking out those wild Pokemon and getting more and more powerful. And especially with a scoring composition, getting more and more Eos energy to put in those goals.
Yeah, this is a very valuable thing I think our trainers at home can learn from these top-level players. And we see this quite frequently in these matches. Rotom, while it can crash into a goal goal and make it defenseless, it's oftentimes just used as map pressure. It's an objective you secure that then runs at the opposing team's base, and buys you time to do other things in other spots on the map.
Wow, and we just have scoring everywhere. Here we go, Dragonite breaking that top goal for Yerman Burger Flippers. And we see right now they are ahead on points while this game is still anyone's game. Something to remind everyone at home, if they win this, they win the grand finals here.
Yeah, you know, Yerman showing us that, hey, we will not be outscored. We are on an undefeated run to this location, and we are going to dunk as many points as we can before the large bird gets here in the center.
Something not unusual at all to see, Jeff. Greedon is in the enemy's central area, taking their wild Pokemon buffs and trying to score in this top goal here. Are they able to make it happen?
Well,
my goodness, they are.
Will it escape without getting knocked out? Oh, it can't keep getting away with it, Spraggles.
Here we go. The Hyper Beam finally taking that Greedon out. I feel your pain, Jeff. That's how I always feel when a Greedon is running away from my goal. I'm thinking, no, there's no way I can stop it. And now Random Gaming at Dreadnought, and Yerman is nowhere to be found, probably because they were dealing with that mean Greedon.
Yeah, and again, that's just the power of this character. Even when it's kind of unsuccessful, it created a distraction and generated map pressure in a place that was opposite of the Dreadnought objective, allowing Random Gaming to secure it essentially for free.
Wow, big move up there. Dragonite scores in that top path at the same time Rotom is being pushed in. It didn't even need Rotom to get pushed in, but is it also able to take this Rotom down? We will have to see if that Rotom makes it in. And no, the Unite move from Greedon right. Oh, but he peeled off the goal, so Rotom does go in.
Once you start cruising with the Greedon, there is no stopping. And if that Rotom gets an opening, it's going to push right on in there. One thing I'd really like to highlight in this match that's very strange compared to most ones we watch, we've crossed the 4-minute mark, and there is not a single level 13 Pokemon in this game.
Yeah, I was just thinking that as well when I was looking at the levels a moment ago. I was thinking, wow, these teams really care about scoring and not as much about experience here. They are not focused on having massive team fights. In fact, I think every objective in this entire match has gone uncontested almost by the other team.
Yeah, and honestly, I would assume that that's an intentional choice by these players. They're choosing not to take engages. Just look at this map and look at how few yellow dots representing wild Pokemon are present. These teams know that they need to knock out as many wild Pokemon as possible to have the Eos energy that they need to score, and they are keeping the map super clear of it.
Yes, it is Pac-Man right now, and they are eating every yellow dot they can see. The more, the better, because they need to start putting that in the goals. And look at this. The main goal for both teams is open. We have the top goal broken on Random Gaming and the bottom goal broken for Yerman Burger Flippers. Both will be able to score in the main base at the 2-minute mark.
You know, Spraggles, this game could play out in a really interesting way where Zapdos is the decider, but not because it makes the goals defenseless, but instead because it gives your entire team 30 and 15 points to score with.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, the teams were actually completely even on score, but Talonflame for Yerman Burger Flippers able to secure 40 points in that bottom path. Dreadnought goes down for Yerman Burger Flippers. However, Rotom being pushed in for Random Gaming, you could definitely argue that that final Rotom is much more important than that final Dreadnought.
You know, really amusing incident there. There were multiple Yerman players up top and multiple Random Gaming players in the bottom, and both objectives were stolen by a single member from the opposite team running in with a yoink.
Here we go. We do have a fight at Zapdos. We have Unites going down, and again, this is a complete flip. So much damage being thrown on this Zapdos right now. Who is able to get this secure? It is Random Gaming with the secure, and 4 members of Yerman Burger Flippers go down. This is going to be so almost impossible for Yerman Burger Flippers to come back from.
Not only is this going to be impossible just because of the amount of points going in, but there's just, when you get knocked out, you drop your Eos energy, Spraggles. Even if the entire Yerman team gets up and runs to the other side of the map, they are not going to have enough time to clear enough wild Pokemon to have enough points for it to matter, I don't think.
One interesting thing, though, Yerman has scored so much in this game. I mean, look at this. They still have 500 points. It's not like this game can't be won, but wow, Random Gaming really pulling it out there at that Zapdos fight.
Thing to note on that radar minimap we see in the top left of the screen, when a player has full points, it shows that 50 or number on their character. None of Yerman's players have that maximum amount, and Random Gaming's not done scoring. They've got Crustle, they've got Greedon, they've got Lucario. They are putting the pressure on, stopping Yerman from getting scores in at all.
This is really interesting to see because, yeah, like you were saying, even if they all run, everyone from Yerman Burger Flippers runs to the other side to score, Random Gaming saying, yeah, we're scoring too. We're still putting points in. We want this to be over 1,000 by the time we're done.
Yeah, and you know, I talked about one of the things at that zap could be the extra points that it gives. It gives your entire team 90 points, which in this double overtime turns into 180, which is almost the differential between these teams.
And here we have big points going in this goal. They are able to jump on it using that Wiggly Unite, using everything they can to put points in there. Was it enough? I'm not sure it was, but we will find out in just a few moments. 10 more points going in, 2 more points, and 14 from Random Gaming's Dragonite.
Yep, just both teams knowing that the best defense is a good offense, trying to get points into the very last wire. Over 1,000 points, Braggles, we did break it.
They did it. Wow, look at those scores. 700 to 1,015, and Random Gaming is right back in these grand finals right here. Again, you look at these MVPs, and I swear to you, they can go to anyone on these teams because everyone is working so hard. But
super powerful. Not only does your team heal a bit, but the opposing team with Zapdos takes a bit of damage and a stun, meaning they're more likely to get knocked out like we saw.
And here we are. This could be the last game of our February finals here for EU. We do have North America coming up after this, but right now Yerman Burger Flippers is in a position to crown themselves the champions of the EU February finals. They would be the best team in the EU.
We see in this bottom path, both teammates kind of doing their own thing. We have the Talonflame running across to get the scoring going in the score composition. The Wigglytuff starts by clearing these Audinos, and then both the Greedons kind of contesting each other, looking for last hits.
I can't believe I'm saying this right now, but Yerman Burger Flippers in this top lane, they are now actually worried about Crustle. They're worried about Crustle in this top lane, and I just love to see it.
Well, Crustle so far is only a little baby Dwebble here. Really needs to get at least 1 to 2 more pieces of last hits so that piece of strawberry cake on his back can get a whole lot bigger.
Interestingly enough, we're seeing this fight here in this top path, but you can see the central area Pokemon, that Dragonair went to the bottom path for Yerman Burger Flippers, to the top path for Random Gaming. It looks like they got a double KO in that bottom path there.
All right, and we see that push up top here with the Crustle looking for the center path invade here for Random Gaming.
Wow, and Lucario able to take down the Lucario from Random Gaming. But yes, Crustle has decided that it is a Greedent now. It is in the area, enemy's central area, and it is taking wild Pokemon.
We saw Dragonair being left alone with the Crustle going to invade. Again, these map movements are not free. In order for this Crustle to go into the center, you're giving up map pressure somewhere else, and it really cost Random Gaming's center path Dragonair a knockout there, giving more experience to Yerman's team.
It does look like, unfortunately, that play did not work out for Random Gaming and that Crustle. Although it did distract that Dragonair for quite some time, we saw the same thing happening on the other side of the map with Mean Greedon in Random Gaming's jungle.
Yerman has broken the first outside goal of Random Gaming at that Dreadnought before the Dreadnought has spawned. In fact, our second Bees haven't even spawned yet. Look at the incredible level differential between these two teams. Multiple level 7s for Yerman and a level 4 Fletchling for Random Gaming still.
Yeah, Random Gaming not in the best position right now. We see Yerman is really in control of this match early, and the question is, what's going to happen here in about 15 seconds when this Dreadnought spawns in this bottom path?
Okay, really reasonable engage here, but quickly turned the tides potentially by Wigglytuff having its powerful Unite move to shield its team.
Wow. And up in our top path here, we can see there is a Talonflame still staying there from Yerman Burger Flippers. But once again, there is not a lot of contesting happening here with this Dreadnought. It looks like they're going to get this one for free.
Yeah, and honestly, this is very smart by Random Gaming's part. Random Gaming has realized that without a Dragonite of their own, they're going to be unable to successfully contest this Dreadnought. And running in there is simply only going to give Yerman the experience from the Dreadnought as well as the experience from knocking out Random Gaming.
We can see all these points being scored in this bottom path for Yerman Burger Flippers. And there we have the secure from Random Gaming, Talonflame and Crustle securing that Rotom. It's going to push towards that top goal of Yerman Burger Flippers.
We see Kiva here for Yerman clearing all of these wild Pokemon to the left, knowing that if they don't get these ASAP, Random Gaming is going to be invading what's supposed to be their safe wild Pokemon and trying to secure them for themselves.
And look at what we had there. We almost had the Dragonite from Random Gaming make its way into this fight, but I think once it saw Yerman's Dragonite, it decided, I'm going to leave this one to you guys. You guys handle this Rotom.
Yeah, we see both teams being pretty tactical at that. We have in this match what I would refer to as skirmishes more than full-on battles. The only 5v5 I believe we saw in that second game was the one in the Zap Pit at the end.
Here we go. Some fighting here in this top path. Are they able to take this Dragonite? Dragonite not as concerned with this Lucario as it is with those wild Pokemon. It wants the Eos energy and it wants the levels, Jeff.
Yep, Lucario using its Unite move to not win that encounter, but survive it, and then getting to dunk these 40 points. I think you have to call that a very successful Unite move if you're Yerman's Lucario.
Yeah, absolutely. We have Dreadnought spawning here in about 25 seconds. And the question is, who's going to be there? Who is going down there to fight? Because right now, no one is in a position to fight for it. Yerman Burger Flippers scoring in this bottom path right here and breaking goal. And now they're going to peel back and get ready for this Dreadnought fight. They might once again get a Dreadnought for free.
Yeah, and Yerman already has a pretty sizable lead in both points and levels. We see all double-digit levels for Yerman's team, while Random Gaming still has 2 level 9s on their side of it.
Wow, and no one is at Dreadnought right now. They're all fighting near this goal. However, everyone from Random Gaming running back down. Who is able to get this secure? It is Random Gaming securing that with their Greedents.
That's a big secure for Random Gaming side. While it doesn't catch them back up in score, they're good at scoring later, and getting caught back up in levels means that their engages inside of these skirmishes that have been occurring will be a lot more profitable in position.
It looks like we do have a few members of each team making their way towards this top Rotom here. Again, another extremely important objective right now. Whichever way this Rotom is pushing, it just gives that much more pressure for that team, and it is secured by Random Gaming. So Random Gaming really coming back in this match right now after having a pretty rocky start.
Yeah, we see the levels starting to equalize a little bit. There's a single differential between the Lucarios on each teams, but otherwise all level 11s in this team. Again, we crossed the 4-minute mark, and there are no level 13s to be seen in this very engaged light match that we've been watching.
Oh, wow, and look at this. Oh, they stopped that Dragonite from scoring and breaking that goal right there. So unbelievably close, but yeah. Random Gaming not able to break this top goal.
I think that is the most Pokemon we've seen grouped together for this entire game. There were 4 for Yerman and 2 for Random Gaming, and just very easily able to push off in an exchange that gave Yerman's team a very good experience boost.
Yeah, and of course, stopped that huge score. Right now, Random Gaming does not have a path to victory by running straight towards the enemy goal, as we've talked about earlier. They need to break one of these top or bottom goals so that they can do that at the 2-minute mark during that Zapdos fight.
Yeah, we saw that for the last game where Random Gaming secured that objective where the other team had to split, and because they had to split, they were too slow to catch back up.
We are coming into the final moments of this match. Wow, look at this play here from Yerman. They are scoring in their main goal right now, Jeff. They're able to put in 39 and 40.
It is so disrespectful, Spraggles, when the opposing team just walks into your face. You're like, no, these are going in. We're a team, and we're dunking them together. We're buddies.
I feel disrespected. I don't think anyone should feel more disrespected than Dreadnought in these games because no one seems to care about Dreadnought. It looks like, oh no! Oh, okay. They were able to get that with a basic attack there. The Hyper Beam from Random Gaming almost taking that Dreadnought right here. We are here at the 2-minute mark, 15 seconds away. If Yerman Burger Flippers win this, they win this tournament.
Ooh, and Dragonite not going to score with the 50 after it jumps out, choosing to come, knowing they need to engage at this this main objective in the center here as the flip begins.
Here we have a lot of damage, a lot of moves being thrown down. What will secure this? Zapdos, Random Gaming once again gets Zapdos. Dragonite for Yerman Burger Flippers, scoring in their main goal. They are still ahead. How many people can they KO? They knocked out 2 Pokemon, Lucario and Greedent from Random Gaming. How many points can they put on the board? We do see Talon and Greedent from Yerman running towards Random Gaming's main goal.
Random Gaming is up for a very small window here, but there are 200 points coming at the base here, and I'm not sure we're going to be able to keep them out. Okay, we kept 100 out. Oh my gosh, we stopped both caps on Random Gaming's side. This is huge. That could be the entire match here.
Wow, I am shocked that that Greedent didn't score. I thought for sure it would. I don't know exactly what happened there because I don't think it got hit by close combat, but I must be incorrect here because that score shield broke and it was not able to put points in that goal.
Random Gaming's Greedent came out and belched, I believe, keeping Nazu off of the score by a very narrow margin here. And again, we see what we've seen frequently in these games where Random Gaming knows they're ahead, but they also know that they were very fortunate to stop the last cap that happened. Look at this. Both teams. Nobody's defending. Score, 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 Spraggles.
No one is home, and we're using Unite moves, but no one's there to defend it at all. They're running across the map. They're saying, I live here, you live there. We are trading places right now. Oh my gosh, Jeff, 925 for Random Gaming, 840 for Yerman, 854. This is so close. They can still get enough points to put in this main goal here. Yeah. What an insane finish.
Look at how long the delay is on all the scores happening. It's just that many scores queued up all at once. And at this point, it's just chaos. I would be very surprised if either team has any idea who's ahead at this point. That was another
Jeff,
small
I can
dunk
see the score,
flame.
and I can see the score, and I don't know who's ahead. That's how close this game is. Right now, Random Gaming just scored 16 with that Greedent. If they are ahead right here, they have won this series, but not the championship. Let's see.
We're going
985 to 908. Random Gaming wins this series, and we are now resetting it. We have another best of 3.
That is actually just incredible. I'm really interested to see, Spraggles, if Yerman decides to stick to their guns going into this next series. They were as a game, and that is even characters like Crustle that are genuinely thought of as lower tier can be phenomenal choices inside of strategies that lean into doing what they want to do in your team composition.
Absolutely, and we're seeing here that Crustle Lucario heading up to the top path for Random Gaming, Talonflame Lucario in the top path for Yerman Burger Flippers. In this bottom path, we have Greedent and Wiggly for Yerman, and we have Talon, and I can't fully see it. Is that Greedent for Random Gaming?
Yeah, Greedent securing that last hit on that contested crab in the center there, getting that Eos energy and being able to cap it in. And again, getting another last here. See that Eos energy going into the tank for Crustle. Just one more hit or score, and it's going to get to stop being a Dwebble and get all grown up.
And we do see both Dratinis right now evolving into Dragonair and making their way to this top path for the 8 minutes 50 seconds spawning of those Vespa Queens and Combies. It's a huge team fight that happens in that top area. And look, actually, in that top path right now, we have a bit of a fight happening before those bees are there. Crustle getting picked off by that Lucario. Talonflame securing the KO.
And we see this thing happen to kind of both teams here. It happened to Yerman first, then happened to Random Gaming second. The teams pushed across the map and got in dunks that have valuable points for these scoring compositions, but these points came at the cost of knockouts.
Oh, wow. And we are actually watching the central area Dragonair go down for Yerman Burger Flippers. And Lucario as well being chased down by that Crustle. It made it back in time and it said, no, no, no. I'm the one who KOs here. I am the one who knocks.
Yeah, and you talked about this and highlighted it perfectly earlier, Spraggles. Both of these compositions really don't care about getting knocked out. Once you're knocked out, you know, the first dozen times, there's nothing to be afraid of. All you are looking to do is put points in the enemy goal as quickly as possible.
That's right. They're not worried about getting knocked down. They're coming right back. They are rocky, and they did not hear a bell. Here we have Talonflame in this up. Ooh, barely getting away. And now this Lucario might be paying for this.
Yep, and this is a tough engage. It is very difficult to knock out opposing Pokemon on that goal early because the goal not only heals you, but it also gives you that shield for a short while, making you incredibly more durable.
So this is very early into this match, Jeff, and they already have 91 and 105 points. This is what we're looking at when we talk about teams focused on scoring and having their composition all about scoring. You've got Pokemon like Greedent and Crustle and a rollout Wigglytuff just making their way across the map using score shields and scoring, while at the same time you have these Dragonites that make it to each objective and try to secure them with their Hyper Beam.
It's really kind of interesting the way these team compositions played out, because we see the Crustle in Yerman's center path there contesting these wild Pokemon. It means that the center path characters on both of these teams end up a little bit behind in levels where they would be in a typical game of Pokemon Unite.
That's right. We're seeing the Dragonite from Yerman Burger Flippers just evolved, and Random Gaming able to take this Dreadnought. This is actually the first time I've seen either of these teams fully show up to Dread. Everyone is on time today.
It is actually silly. You know, Dreadnought probably felt a little bit disrespected in those early games, probably sat down with the teams. I was like, listen, I'm important.
I assume that's the exact conversation that happened. We'll never know because it was behind closed doors, but look at all this scoring happening. They're pushing towards this tier 2 goal. Oh my goodness, Random Gaming. What a moment for them. This is great, but they might pay for it by getting KO'd.
And again, some of these knockouts are happening, but the knockouts aren't what you care about. You don't win the game at the end for having knocked out or dealt damage to the opposing team. You win because you dunked as much AOS energy as you could in their goals.
Trust me, Jeff, as someone who knows how to lose in Pokemon Unite, you are 100% right. And wow, they don't care at all. They just want to put points in. That is one of the smallest overdunks I have seen. That goal was at 1 point left, and that Crustle said, I'll just throw 5 in here. Who cares? That goal's gone.
Really, the most important thing that these teams do is they want to open up that center path all the way to that home base before the end of the game happens. It doesn't matter how little their overcaps are while they get there.
Oh, look, here we go. We have this Rotom trying to be pushed in this top goal. Now, this is something that most teams wouldn't really focus on. They would let the Rotom move in towards the enemy's goal and just kind of leave it so that they can continue to get experience around the map. But they actually would have loved to get that in that goal and continue scoring.
Well, something interesting that actually happened. They walked with the Rotom, kind of, but they scored in front of it and then bounced before taking the fight. They know on Random Gaming side that they can't take an engagement on that point. They can, however, dunk in Yerman's face.
So we have Dreadnought coming up here. We'll see if the teams show up to this Dreadnought. We have a lot of Random Gaming here, actually. 2 members of Yerman are all over the map. We see Talonflame farming in that top area. And here we go. The secure from the Lucario on Random Gaming.
You see that Talonflame trying to escape here, maybe narrowly getting out without the knockout. The Hyper Beam secures it just in the nick of time.
Random Gaming here, it looks like they're saying, I would love to score on this tier 2 goal. Is anyone around? Can we do that, please? I would love to. Greedent putting some points in, while Talon here from Yerman Burger Flippers scoring at will in this top goal.
I love this, you know, again, just score. Talonflame's got 3 points. It's like, no, any amount of points is enough to score. And it stayed in and ends up getting punished by the Crustle Unite for staying in.
To be fair, I mean, that's a big Unite to pull out just to KO a little Talonflame right there. So I have to feel pretty good as that Talonflame going down to an entire Unite move from Crustle.
Really cute micro thing from the experienced Crustle player here. Fluffy tailing the Corphish in the center, dropping the Stealth Rocks, and then walking away, knowing that that's enough to take the wild Pokemon out.
Yeah, just walking away from it like an action movie, a cool guy walking away from an explosion right there. Crustle knew it had that. And look at this big secure from Dragonite. Is it able to get these points? Yes, it is. 40 into that bottom goal. Wow, this game is so close. 296 to 312.
Yeah, speaking of explosions, all of the Unite moves on these teams might as well read, this is going to dunk some points, because that is what these players are looking to do. We see a Rotom walking in that top path towards Random Gaming's goal. Can this be what finally breaks it and opens up that center path?
The interesting thing here is we have random scoring in the bottom path. We have Yerman breaking goal here in this top path, or at least trying to. And there we go. Top goal broken. Everyone just looking to put points on the board, but that bottom goal is still there for Yerman Burger Flippers. They really want either this top or bottom goal gone before the Zapdos spawns here in about 40 seconds.
Gosh, I think this is the most wild Pokemon I've ever seen up on one of the maps in this grand finals. There are a ton of wild Pokemon waiting to be collected for both experience and Eos energy to dunk on into these goals.
And we do have the final Dreadnought of the match being fought right now by only one team. As we've seen so often throughout this series, they are just letting them have it.
Yeah,
the other team is they're focused on scoring. They're focused on getting Eos energy. They need their Unites back. There's about to be a Zapdos fight, Jeff.
Yeah, there was a Lucario and a Talonflame directly above the Dreadnought, and they were like, no, these bees give me Eos energy. The Dreadnought does not give me Eos energy.
Here we go, Zapdos spawning. 1 second left, an immediate Stealth Rock. Lucario jumping on it. We have Dragonite getting its Hyper Beam ready to take it. Fluffy Tails being thrown down on it. And we have the secure from the Lucario on Random Gaming. They are now going to run to score some points. And the Dragonite's still down there from Yerman Burger Flippers.
The Dragonite here, worth noting, is choosing to go and defend here because it only has 18 points, knowing that it can keep out more points than it can dunk in, making defense the better option.
Wow, we do see the bottom goal being broken there by Yerman Burger Flippers. And right now, this game is so incredibly close. 498 to 474. There's no way these teams know exactly where they're at. But in about 15 seconds here, they're going to get an alert, letting them know, actually less information, that this is a very close battle.
The rollouts on this Wiggly have been very impressive, the way it darts around the map and uses the angles off of all of these walls to position exactly how it wants to.
Oh, we do have a year in the lead for Yerman Burger Flippers, so they know they're ahead, but not by that much. That is some huge information right there. And now Random Gaming also with a similar alert, letting them know they are behind.
Yerman's choosing to have that Talonflame hide in the bush, uniting in, and it's going to score another 100 here. This is huge. This lead extends even more, but here come Random Gaming Talonflame. Does guys here have a unite to push in as well?
Yeah, it looks like they want to send that Greedent in, cause a little bit of a distraction there, and then somehow let this Talon get these 50 points. Can it do it? It looks like, oh, wow, and it got the buddy barrier from that Crustal. Crustal is now there to score.
Oh, there's just the numbers. They keep going up, Spraggles. Everybody is on all of the points, not their own.
Jeff, the score is so incredibly close. Any amount of points that go in right now could be the deciding factor in this game. Is anyone able to put more points on the board? It's going in from 14 and 30. I have to hold my breath.
I genuinely don't know how that ended. Survey says...
Random Gaming 750 beating Yerman Burger Flippers 706. And now all of a sudden, the team that was knocked out of the winner's bracket by Yerman Burger Flippers is just one win away from being our grand finals champion.
Yeah, you know, and you really have to wonder, I think, on Yerman's side, you Zapdos that Random Gaming has gotten 2 or 3 times in a row now.
And here we go. Possibly our final match of these grand finals. If Random Gaming can win here, they are going to be our champion, beating the team who actually sent them to the loser's bracket.
We see here, same path splits as well. Greedents facing off in the bottom, Wigglies and Talonflames trying to secure their own farm. And then the top path just kind of running past each other and securing wild Pokemon and getting their dunks in.
Yeah, not a lot has changed. Everyone is playing on the other side of the map. That's mainly what's happening here.
That's a huge engage here. Now, this is different. We see Yerman putting their center path Dragonair into the bottom path this time through, whereas in previous matches, they had sent it to the top path to contest where Random Gaming was sending theirs. This is, again, you can change up your strategy in Pokemon Unite without changing up your specific composition through macro gameplay like this.
Yeah, this is really interesting to see, and unfortunately, it doesn't look like Random is really going to be able to take advantage of their Dragonair up there, at least early, because that Crustal was so low, it had to back up, and it had to eat a berry, but they were able to get all of those Vespiquen Combees.
Just to call out some really excellent micro-level gameplay from the Dragonair here, while it didn't secure any of the bees and Vespiquen for itself, it pushed to the left, keeping Yerman's Fletchling and Lucario from getting any of that contested wild Pokemon.
Wow, and 2 now going down here. Do we have a third? Yes, Talonflame going down as well. So we have 1 going down from Yerman, 2 from Yerman Burger Flippers and 1 from Random Gaming there. They actually lost their center area Dragonair, and now Greedent is here fighting over this wild Pokemon.
And we see here, the Dragonair just like, nah, I'm not gonna attack this Buffalon. If you want to work it down, you work it down. And then it tried to play for the last hit there, but it was unsuccessful. Greedent is very mean, and it gets what it wants.
It's really hard to secure against a Pokemon like Greedent. They have so much health and incredible last hit potential, as you said. And if you haven't played a lot of Pokemon Unite, you might wonder how important that is. Well, the last hit, it really means everything. You get all the AO synergy and all the experience. The enemy team gets nothing.
Yeah, and again, we see here, these Dragonairs at 7 minutes and 30 seconds are still just Dragonairs. The fact that their center path wild Pokemon have been contested time and time again on both teams means that they're behind. In fact, look at these bottom path Wiggly and Greedent. They're the same level as the center path Dragonair.
Interestingly enough, we do see Wiggly has switched up its Hollowware. It's no longer wearing the Sleepy Hollowware with its rollout build, which, as I said, needed to be done. And of course, we have Cowboy Greedents everywhere. Nothing makes me happier than seeing Cowboy Greedents.
It is imperative that we start seeing the Hollowware at the loadout screen, I think. This is a very important difference, Fraggles.
I love it, and I think it actually does make a difference. You have an idea of what these characters are going to do, and look at that. Trying to take some wild Pokemon from that Crustle there. It's hard to do.
Oh, poor Dreadnought. Left and all alone. Look at this Lucario. Lucario's like, I don't need to be here. Nobody's coming. Dragonite's got this. I'm going to go get some Eos energy somewhere else. That's more important.
This is the loneliest I have ever seen Dreadnought. I mean, I don't know what happened. It was the popular kid in school, and now no one is calling on Friday night.
Well, very clearly you've never played any of my solo queue games, Spraggles, because that's what most of my Dreadnoughts look like there.
I don't know what you're talking about, Jeff. Everyone rotates to Dreadnought in my solo queue games.
We see here a full 5 characters in the center for Random Gaming, traversing the map, clearing some wild Pokemon, and maybe, nope, not engaging with the Greedent, because that's never a good idea.
Look at this here. Right now the score 154-127. They are attempting to put a lot of points in this bottom goal. They would almost break it right here, but it would still be up.
We see Wiggly valiantly attempting to stop all of these people from scoring. And again, just being reminded why the best defense is a good offense. Just completely unsuccessful. All of Random Gaming able to dunk their points here in the bottom.
That really was impressive, though. Wiggly was fighting off 3 really difficult people to fight off. I mean, you had Lucario, Dragonite, Greedent all fighting you, and it was able to stay alive for a very long time there, eventually getting KO.
An incredibly close game on basically every axis here, although, as I say that, the last character on Yerman's side has rolled over to level 10, pushing that point advantage as well, up almost 100. Things change very quickly with these score comps.
And as you're seeing, you know, when we talk about the level advantage, they did get that first very important Dreadnought. Even though it didn't seem like anyone cared about it, it really does help them.
Yeah, and you know, even if there aren't full 5-on-5 team fights, the little skirmishes where 2 and 3 characters are running into each other, those give the edge to the people who have the higher levels, and Dreadnought helps your team be that person.
We've got both Rotom and Dreadnought spawning at almost the exact same time. 3 members of Random Gaming in this bottom path, 1 in this top path, and Yerman has no one near either of these objectives right now.
See that circle, Dragonite coming in. We're actually going to have a brawl here, and it actually looks like Lucario and Dragonite versus Lucario and Dragonite, but Lucario for Random Gaming is a little bit late here. And they get that steal with the Dragonite Hyper Beam securing.
And like we said, the reason they're running this Dragonite in this team composition is because while they don't have amazing team fight ability, they can secure objectives with Hyper Beam in such a potent way. And here we go. We might have the bottom goal being broken, and we do. That means that central base goal will be open for Random Gaming.
And we see again here, these players like kind of walking with the Rotom. but also just kind of using the Rotom as backup so they can get their score shield dunks in that second point. And now Rotom's walking towards the home here.
I mean, it could make it towards that main goal. Do they actually let it go in? Of course, they're going to do everything they can to stop it right here, and they do. They do stop it from going in. Right now, Yerman, 364, Random Gaming, 308. A ton of points on the board right now. Yerman is ahead.
Yeah, and ahead ever so slightly in terms of points dunked, but the levels are almost identical here. Slightly more 12s for Yermans, but also a 13 already for Random Gaming.
Now, Random Gaming using Crustle and its Unite move to put another 30 points on the board in this top path.
You see Dragonite securing the ever-important last hit on that Corphish there, denying Crustle the 3 Aos energy.
Here we have a big fight over these Vespiquen Combies, and like we said before, they want them not just for the experience, but mainly for the Aos energy. They need to score some points.
I think we've seen more people show up to Vespiquen and her spawns happening than we have to actual objectives in these matches so far.
So now we have a very important decision to be made. We have Rotom and Dreadnought spawning right now. Both of them can be secured before Zapdos is up. Rotom would seem to be the more important objective here. I'm wondering, yes, we do have 3 members of Yerman Burger Flippers heading towards Rotom as we have the entire team from Random Gaming up here. This actually could be the early Zapdos fight.
Yeah, this is the engage at the end here. And if you're Wigglytuff, you got to be super excited to have that engage happening where you get to roll out there.
Wow, lots of Unites being thrown down right now. We saw Dragonite heading up into the air. Greedence Unite was thrown, and no one is able to secure this Rotom. And now it's time for a Zapdos fight with 3 members of Random Gaming down. Talonflame picking up the triple KO.
This is huge. You know, we talked about at the start how there just weren't team fights happening to really leverage Wiggly's Unite, and Wiggly really helped Yerman clean up there in that end engage. And it looks like we're likely to be going to a game 3 in this grand finals.
It does look like it right here, and that was our early Zapdos fight. It was just before Zapdos had entered the game right there, but as you can see, having multiple members of Random Gaming down put Yerman in such a powerful position. They were able to take that Zapdos, and now they are ahead 864 to 420. Random Gaming is going to need a little bit of a miracle to come back from that one.
Yeah, they need over 400 points at this point, and I don't think there is enough Aos energy lying on the ground or even spawned on the map if they knock out every single wild Pokemon to even collect that much less assume that they can dunk it all in Yerman's home base.
But one thing that we have to remember is they are set up for scoring. It's not over until it's over, and I've seen some crazy comebacks in Pokemon Unite. It is possible. We have Unite moves coming down. They are running towards this center base. Points are going in, a 60. Ooh, it looks like we didn't get Greedence. We have an 86 from Dragonite, 82 from Talon. Oh, but we have points going in from Yerman Burger Flippers.
And again, both these teams, they understand they can't defend everything that happens here. As Yerman, I don't think I've ever seen the 4 digits on the spectator score screen before. Usually when those get in, it's like those last seconds that it pops up at the end. Rather impressive.
Well, I think Yerman Burger Flippers had to prove right here who the team is that scores over 1,000 points. It will not be you, Random Gaming. Yerman Burger Flippers over 1,000 points, tying up this series. Incredible. We are heading to a game 3 without question. Jeff, the next match, it decides everything.
The next match will definitely be the last match of this European finals. But for those of you at home that are enjoying the broadcast and the production, don't go anywhere, because coming up after this last match, your piece of the $500,000 prize pool.
And here we have it, all tied up. YBF against RG. I tried to shorten it. I'm not going to do it again. But man, this is incredible. It all comes down to this, Jeff.
We see our teams choosing to stick with what they've done in the previous games. Same characters in the same path, same positioning on a micro level in those paths as well. Hoping that things break a little bit different for them or go the same if you're on the side of Vermin.
There we go. Scoring coming out from both teams, and both teams spending a whole lot of time not near their goals, but near the enemy's goals. This is what is to be expected.
I love the awkward dance when there's two people trying to contest the same wild Pokemon on the team where nobody wants to click their regular attack because they know the next burst is going to knock it out. It's almost like a game of chicken.
Yeah, that's right, because it is the person who gets that last final hit on the Pokemon that gets all the Eos energy and all the experience. So you do see them kind of wiggling around, looking at each other, saying, no, you go ahead. No, you go ahead.
You see both Greedents doing what I can only define as Greedent things, being on the opposite side of the map from their own, although it looks like Random Gaming's Greedent might be biting off more than it can chew. Really good positioning thing from the Greedent on the bottom there, though. Realizing that it was going to get knocked out, it instead of engaging, chose to make space so its teammate could try and secure those bees in the center.
Looks like things are going pretty well for Random Gaming here in this top path, but they might be pushing this Dragonair out, and they might be KOing it. They're going to chase it through their central area right here. Talon coming down, and we do have a KO right there.
Not only is it a knockout, but that Dragonair notably was KO'd with all of its Eos energy in tow, and it was not a small amount. When you fail to get in your dunks early, it becomes harder to dunk more energy the more that you're holding, as we see a Talonflame narrowly get in their 18 here.
Yeah, and you can see they don't mind that Talonflame was knocked out there. It put its points in the goal. It did its job, Jeff.
Yep, we see here Dragonair for Random Gaming in its center path, being harassed by the Squirrel Bandit, denying it that valuable experience it needs to try and be Dragonite before the first round of objectives come on.
We're not even at 7 minutes 30 seconds, and we have over 100 points, 121 from Random Gaming. Just so much scoring going on, so much time spent away from home. Do they even write? Oh.
More importantly, not only is there 120 points scored already, but neither outside point is broken on Yerman's side, so they are consistently dunking both top and bottom. This, one of the largest engages we've seen early here, with 3 players from each team on the bottom for this Dreadnought. Perhaps Random Gaming recognized that they gave up the first Dreadnought for free in the last game, and it could have potentially been a mistake to do so.
It also could just be the luck of the draw. They were busy scoring and they happened to be here for it, because you never know. It doesn't seem like these teams care too much about Dread, but you're right. We do have multiple members of Yerman and multiple members of Random Gaming down here for this. We have 2 Dragonites with their Hyper Beams. Who gets it? Yerman Burger Flippers with it secure.
Yep, and this is huge because this first Dreadnought puts you over that breakpoint to get your Unite move. It heals you, it gives you a shield. You not only get that burst of experience, but it means that your team is more likely to get to push the advantage that they've generated here.
While this was happening, though, we do have the bottom goal being broken there. Random Gaming is now ahead even further, taking that bottom goal, and Talon is trying to do the same thing here for Yerman Burger Flippers.
Yeah, this Rotom that we've talked about top that walks at the opposing team's goal, threatening to make it defenseless, has a lot more value if you've broken the outside point on the top first. Excellent micro from this Crustle, juking the Talonflame back into those Stealth Rocks.
I mean, I don't think you often expect... wait, what KO'd Crustle?
Rotom had something to say about Crustle having excellent micro. It was like, no, you deserve to lose that one-on-one with the Talonflame.
Wow, Rotom saw it in the bush and said, no. I have to step in here. I have to do something about this. But Random Gaming able to take that first Rotom, push it towards that secondary goal here. They might score, they might not. Either way, Yerman has to deal with this right now. They don't want points going in their goal.
And again, map pressure here. We see that Rotom walking at the top, keeping the Burger Flippers distracted, and Random Gaming utilizes this time to dunk a bunch of points in the bottom. Oh gosh, this point breaking already? Wow, that is
wow.
Inside goal breaking before the 5-minute mark.
That is really impressive. And when you're talking about teams, focused on scoring, you have to assume that that feels great. They already have their path to victory set up before them. That central goal that they can go into even if they lose Zapdos.
Yeah, and again, you see the 5th character on Random Gaming side cross that level 10 threshold. Nobody is leveling extremely quickly on either of these teams. And when the levels are close, that means you need to look at the points to kind of gain a measure of who's ahead here. And Random Gaming is definitely ahead to start.
Absolutely. We do have an objective coming up. what would be considered the second loneliest Dreadnought in the world, and no one wanted to show up for this Dreadnought, except we do have Greedent here, incredible at stealing Dreadnought, and Dragonite's coming in with this Unite move. Hyper Beam's coming down, but Yerman Burger Flippers were ready. That Hyper Beam was powered up and ready to go.
Okay, and we see those levels catching back up thanks to that Dreadnought for Yerman's team here. They have almost all crossed the 11, with the Dragonite crossing the 12, while there's not a single 12 on Random Gaming side. What is this team fight, Spraggles? These teams interact with each other?
I was thinking the same thing. I can't believe a team fight is breaking out here in the bottom path on this beach. Dreadnought's not even there anymore. It's time to fight once it's gone, I guess.
This Vespa Queen was left not knocked out. Think of the Vespa Queens. You don't have time to battle each other.
This has really been such an exciting series to cast for moments like this. It's so different from what you might see from a lot of the teams out there, but you can see this is the strategy that has dominated the EU finals.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. We have those North American finals, top 4 coming up just after this grand finals is done, and I would be very surprised if we have a Crustle in the finals of NA.
I would be shocked and awed, and I don't even know if I'm allowed to be that. Here we go. Oh, Talonflame going down. I don't know if it was Greedent or if it was actually that Rotom, but Talonflame goes down, and now this is pushing towards this top goal here. If they don't stop it, a ton of points could be put in, but the question is this Greedent just going to walk right past it, use its Unite move, and try to score 50 in this goal? Is it going to happen? No, they do stop it. Crustle scores 8, however.
Yep, little dunk going in there. That Unite move gives that Buddy Bear, giving you an extra chance to score through Score Shield, but not quite enough with all the damage that was on that point for the Burger Flippers. There's going to be 30 seconds on this Dreadnought. Will it be lonely, or will it have a bunch of friends show up here for a team fight again?
I don't think Random Gaming wants anything to do with this Dreadnought. I would be surprised if they want this fight at all. 2 minutes, 40 seconds left in this game. 2 minutes, 40 seconds until we know who your EU champion is.
Greedent from Yerman's Burger was like, Dreadnought? Okay, sure. I'll do the Dreadnought. Dragonite's coming here too, and this could be big. You see the level advantage in a slight tip of Yerman's favors. This Dreadnought's going to put them solidly ahead when it comes to this endgame team fight. The question is, will that fight be inside of the Zapdos pit again, or can they force the engage to happen somewhere else like we saw in the previous game?
We're seeing 3 members of Random Gaming sneaking up into that top path right here. Are they going to try to score as soon as this Zapdos pops out? I'm not sure. Here they are. We have Lucario, Greedent, and Crustle all trying to score. Crustle is able to put some points in, and they're running straight towards the goal. They don't care about Zapdos. They've basically left it. They're leaving the Zapdos fight completely.
Random Gaming is like, listen, we know we lost the endgame team fight last time. There's not going to be an endgame team fight. We got points to score.
So there we have Yerman Burger Flippers take Zapdos, but right now they are over 400 points behind.
Yeah, but they're all surviving, Spraggles. That center base is opening, and I think we're about to see plus 500 for Yerman's team here. Oh,
wow. 762 to 788. This is incredibly close. I can't believe it.
I think both teams are on the we are clearing wild Pokemon and trying to dunk plan here. Something else to remember, there wasn't really an endgame team fight here. I would wager most of these characters have their Unites to dunk points in with Buddy Barriers at this point.
Oh, wow, that's a great point. And we have a minute left. This is far from over. Whichever team can put more points in right now is the winner. Yes, Random Gaming is slightly ahead right here, but they might as well not be at all. This is anyone's game right now.
Dragonite escaping there is huge. It would have dropped all of its Eos energy had it been KO'd, and they would have been down a person for this engage on the point. And Random Gaming having the forward position here, I have to imagine favors them.
I think Random Gaming's in a really good spot right here. We do see the Unite moves coming in, trying to score. We have Greedent scoring possibly in this main, being pushed around right here. 68 coming in from Crustle. Do we have anything from Yerman? Are they able to counter score right now? They need to run if they're going to make this work.
Gosh,
and 2 members
of
Random Gaming.
100 more. Crustle's coming with 4 more. Like, we're not done dunking. Yeah, go do your thing over there.
10 seconds left. Can they get to a goal? Can they come back? Or did Random Gaming just win that right there? Points going in. Only 14 points for Yerman Burger Flippers.
I think Random Gaming might need to consider changing their team name to Crustle Gaming after this finals, because what an incredible change of a pick losing the match earlier and being put into the loser's bracket, being down a game in the first of the grand finals before the reset, and swapping to Crustle and basically sweeping afterwards.
Incredible. Random gaming.